see myself in this situation. I really didn't. I never thought, if I had any dreams at all, it was to have a family. And I did that, but I did it very non-traditionally.
Most actors say they knew they were actors from the moment they could form the words to say so. Not Goldie Hawn. She wanted to marry a good man, have a few kids, and dance a little on the side. Her plans fell apart, and she had to settle instead for being one of our biggest movie stars. I relished our conversation, and I'll always remember that story about Goldie getting married when she was 8 months pregnant, as well as a poignant piece of advice given to her by her late father. In a moment, Goldie Hawn. The young, gyrating, tattooed body on Laugh-In was the public's first exposure to Goldie Hawn. It was the late 60s, and television audiences loved her ditzy, adorable personality. Her dumb blonde act with Rowan and Martin was never studied, she said, but her golden giggle made her famous. Seemingly overnight, America fell in love with Goldie Hawn. Goldie Jean Hawn was born in 1945 in Washington, D.C., and grew up in nearby Tacoma Park, Maryland. By the age of 3, Goldie, who was named for an aunt, was taking dance lessons. By age 17, she was running her own dancing school. Yes, she says, she was always funny. Goldie broke out of television and into films in 1969 with her first feature appearance in Cactus Flower. She won a Best Supporting Actress Academy Award for her performance, and her career took off. Throughout the 70s, Goldie starred in a string of movies, which proved that behind those simple-minded characters, there was a smart, hard-headed actress with ambition to spare. Her hard work paid off with 1980's Private Benjamin, which turned Goldie into a box office phenomenon. The film, which Goldie also produced, grossed $110 million and garnered her another Academy Award nomination. Propelled by her tremendous success, Goldie went on to not only star, but develop and produce several films over the next decade. And while none repeated Private Benjamin's blockbuster status, Goldie sustained her popularity with consistently winning performances. She also shed some of her airhead image, branching out into more dramatic roles. Whether mother, mogul, or movie star, it seems that no part is too much of a challenge for Goldie Hawn. However, when I met with Goldie in 1982, she was in the midst of rough personal times. Her father, with whom she was very close, had died earlier that year, and her second marriage to musician-comedian Bill Hudson had ended in divorce. Goldie's dreams of the perfect family were shattered, and she found herself as a single mother of 2, a role she never expected to play.
Help, I can't see where I'm going, Oliver!
Goldie was adamant about giving her children what she described as a normal childhood, and she kept them out of the Hollywood fast lane. She owned a home in West Los Angeles and this beach house in Malibu. Did you do the whole house yourself?
Yeah.
Is it you?
Yeah, it was all me. But all of this stuff in here was I collected from all the traveling that I've done, which is a great passion of mine. And so all the little primitive places that I've been, I've kind of got lots of fertility dolls. Great goddesses, you know, carved out of wood.
A colorful Navajo blanket was one of Goldie's favorite possessions. It decorated her living room, along with her collection of American Indian rugs, baskets, and pottery. Her pets and children had full run of the house. Her lifestyle was casual, and her home reflected it. Goldie called herself truly a free spirit. Goldie, what's the biggest misconception about you?
Well, I think that, obviously, you know what I'm going to say, is that people think I'm dumb and bubble-headed and vacuous. And I would say that is a misconception.
When we first met, I said to you, You're so cute, because you are, and it's the adjective that everybody, and you said,
how long can I be cute? I don't know. I wonder myself. I think about it. I figure that maybe, you know, there are cute old ladies. So I think maybe I'll be one of those funny, cute old ladies that always dresses like a kid. You know, because I'm not a kid anymore, but look what I have on, you know. I like to dress like this.
You look like such a kid. You know, there is that Peter Pan quality about you. Are you grown up?
Sometimes I'm grown up and sometimes I'm just damn not, you know. Sometimes I just am not that grown up, you know. When I have to deal with important things, then I get grown up. When I have to deal with children, with business, with career moves, with properties, what I want to produce, what I want to do, then I'm a grown-up. But when I go out and play, I'm not a grown-up. I think that being grown-up then eventually allows you to be as damn silly as you like.
And laughing, of course, you were the ultimate dimwit. Did you mind being perceived that way?
I really didn't. You know, I enjoyed it. I had fun.
But then when you try to get out of Goldie, that image, to be taken more seriously, is that hard?
Well, I'm not sure that I was never... I mean, I always respected whatever talents I had, wherever I excelled, whatever people felt good about me. I would never defy them or defy that. In other words, I never tried to bust out and say, I'm going to prove to everybody that I'm really a great actress, or I'm going to prove to them that I got more talent than that little bubble-headed thing. I never had this kind of impetus behind my growth. It was always to respect what I do and to kind of grow with it.
You have talked about when you were young and you had no dates.
Yeah.
And then there's a piece of writing in which you write about yourself. I had a nose so flat it reached from one ear to the other, eyes that looked thyroid, and a body like a clarinet. Is that really the way you saw yourself?
Yeah, it is.
Did you have a body like a clarinet?
Yeah.
You don't still think you have a body like a clarinet?
No, I don't.
But you're
I
not
mean,
too
to a
sure.
point, you know, I'm still thin, but I filled out in a few nice places.
And you were not filled out in those places?
Not at all. Oh, I wore lots of slips to give myself hips, and I wore two pairs of socks to give myself ankles, and I wore falsies. I could still do with those. And, yeah, all that was true.
And no one called?
And nobody called, and I wasn't real popular. I just really wasn't.
Then you decided, coming from really a very happy background, you had a happy life,
Yes.
that you were going to be a performer. Okay. And played in what sounds like the sleaziest kind of places as a go-go dancer.
Oh, yes.
This nice,
I
sweet,
paid my
innocent...
dues.
What were they like?
Degrading.
Did you dance on top of bars and things?
I danced in a cage where I had men putting their noses up like, you know, an image that one day I would like to shoot. I can remember when I did my first summer stock, which was very legit. I did Kiss Me Kate and Guys and Dolls, and I was out there and I was selling, and I was just happy as a clam and really going, here I go, show business, you know, I'm in it, God. And I came back to New York, and I got a job at a place called the Entre Nous, and they put me in a cage. And I started doing my go-go stuff in the cage, and I was selling, and I was so happy, and I thought, oh God, $97.50 a week, you know, this is great. And I looked at myself in the mirror. There was a mirror directly opposite from me that I hadn't known was there until suddenly, you know, I looked up, and I saw this girl selling her heart out to nobody. Nobody came. Nobody wanted, nobody cared. It's not that nobody came, nobody cared.
The interesting thing is that you used to say when you were younger that you never, or maybe you still do, that you never wanted to be a star.
Mm-hmm.
Your mother has said about you, Goldie's just thought she'd be married and have kids. And yet, look what you went through. I mean, the ambition that it took
Yeah.
to stick that out.
Yeah. Well, let me just say that I am ambitious, there's no question about it, but I would be an ambitious elevator operator. You know, I feel that I have a destiny. No matter which way I went or what road I chose to take, I think that most of us do have a destiny. I think my daughter has a destiny. I think my son has a destiny. There are certain things we're just supposed to do in life. And where I'm concerned, it's not that I didn't want to be a star. It's that I never perceived myself as being a star. It was a dream so far beyond the reach of reality to me.
So what were you going to be?
I was going to be a dancer because I knew how to do that, because I worked at it, I sweat at it, you know, and that is what I wanted. And then, of course, you know, at age 18, I wasn't perceiving at that point what I was going to be doing when I'm 40, you know. I thought that it would all end up like the fairy tale, that I would get married and I'd meet somebody and I'd have children and, you know, and then, of course, the fairy tale didn't go anywhere beyond that.
And you'd give up the dancing?
And I give up the dancing.
Do you feel now, that, my dear, do you feel now that you're a star?
Oh. I thought you were going to say something
I
else.
was going to say something else, and when you did that, I decided not to. You're very smart. I switched in midstream.
Okay, you sure did. So do I feel that I'm a star now? I guess so. I'd be stupid if I looked around me and didn't think I was a star. I mean, you know, the feedback alone would let me know that, clue me in a little.
So now I'll go back to the other question I was going to ask. Okay. If it had been the other way, would it have been better?
You mean, that's a wonderful question. You mean that if I hadn't become a star and I had gotten married and I had the children, I had the house on the hill and all the fence around it and all that stuff, I doubt it. I'm sure that I would be probably very, especially knowing my personality, confined by that white picket fence. And I never thought I'd hear myself say that.
One reviewer, when I was reading about you, said that the conflict in your life is between the gypsy in your soul and the homemaker in your heart.
You know, he was right. And I like that. I like that a lot. And I think that's one thing I never want to lose. I really don't. I like that confusion. I like that dichotomy. Yeah, I mean, it keeps you somehow growing. Keeps the friction, the questions going, the searching going, all the things that eventually they do, they keep you young.
Next, Goldie Hawn on Men and Money. Are you happy now?
For the most part, I could say that I'm happy now. I mean, I would be a liar if I said that I was happy all the time. I mean, this is a ridiculous state because there's too much happening around us that's, I mean, you know, there's not much to be happy about at this point.
The world around you, but not your
us.
life.
Not my life, you know, but my life, my children and my life is ultimately affected by all that is going on. I mean, I just hope my children can grow up. You know, that's what I think about.
In your day-to-day life, though, where are you?
In my day-to-day life, I am trying to basically, I'm not working toward that white picket fence anymore. Do you know?
Yeah. You adore those two kids, though.
I sure do.
Yeah.
I thank God for those babies every day.
I mean, people do love their children, and we take it for granted, but I think what most people don't know about you is how very family conscious you are.
This is what has been difficult because, you know, being married twice, and then Bill and I, you know, when we got married, we wanted these babies. They are the most wanted babies, this is for sure. But the idea that I made these beautiful children and that I don't have the very important other component,
the
daddy is, God, I never thought I'd see myself in this situation. I really didn't. I never thought, if I had any dreams at all, it was to have a family. I dreamed, my idea of the end all was, of course, creating my own family. And I did that, but I did it very non-traditionally. And now I am alone with 2 children and trying very hard to create stability and give them a sense of esteem and a sense of knowing who they are, where they came from, why they're here. It's why I feel it's so important for families that split up, for the daddies or the mommies or whoever it is that leaves, they must reaffirm the love that they have for these children. Let them know that's your dad and he loved you very much and mommy loves you very much. And let them know where they are. You know, I think it's so important.
Goldie, you did a television special with children, and not your own, but other kids, in which you talked to them and they talked to you. And there was a line that you said for all the world to hear in talking about why your marriage broke up. You said, when a woman is successful, it's not that easy for a man. It's not an easy thing. You were successful. You were making much more money. What do you do about that, Goldie? It's going to keep happening.
Yes, I think it will keep happening. I don't know what I'm going to do about it. I have no answers. I think that, I think it's not just me either. I mean, it is, I mean, it's, we are right now in such a confusing place where men and women are concerned. But let's face it, it is a dilemma right now.
Is it money? I mean, what happens with them? You've made a lot of money that you didn't expect to make in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
I mean, Private Benjamin was
very
yours.
well.
Okay. Is it money?
Money is a powerful thing in America. I mean, when somebody has money, they suddenly have the power.
Did you?
Man or woman.
I mean, you have said that the money has brought you nothing but unhappiness, that the money has messed up your life.
Money has brought tremendous hurdles in my life. It's also given me some wonderful things. But I can't say that money is the absolute end-all reason why two people divorce or separate. But I will say that there are power struggles that are happening now between men and women, period.
When it broke up, was it very hard for you? It broke up in the midst of the career soaring.
Oh, yes. It was difficult. It was very difficult. But, you know, we had been through a lot. And in other ways, it was kind of a relief because, you know, we had tried everything. You know, and when you try everything, and this is like in anything one does, I try to investigate every possible angle so I don't miss anything. I don't want a question. If that decision comes up, I don't want a question. Should I have stayed? Should we have no. I already made those questions during the relationship, so it's easier.
You have this mother and father who were crazy about you. You were crazy about kind of a conservative life, you know.
Yeah.
And then when you married Bill Hudson, you married him when you were 8 months pregnant.
Yeah.
Why did you... Go.
Tisk, tisk.
Why did you wait so long? Were you afraid of getting married?
Logistics. Just logistics. Bill was running all over the place, and he was
You couldn't find 10 minutes?
I wanted a wedding. It's not 10 minutes.
Even 8 months pregnant?
You're damn right. And my father gave me away. God rest him. He gave me away.
What do you want for yourself professionally now? Do you want to produce more, direct more?
I've given it a lot of thought, and I imagine my company will continue. I will continue to produce films, and I would like to continue, maybe, or start, rather, to produce films that I'm not in. Things that I believe in, ideas that I believe in.
You are one of the few stars now, motion picture stars, who is guaranteed box office. Is that terrific or scary?
I don't think about it. I mean, it's really fleeting to bank on these kind of things, for this to make you really deeply happy. It's a bottomless pit. I mean, things that make me happy are not, it's not exactly that.
What makes you happy?
What makes me happy? It sounds so damn cliche, but nature. I can honestly say that the thing that makes me really happy, aside from, you know, my little offspring, is nature. You know, it makes you feel a part of the whole, you know. And my dad used to say, you start feeling too big for your britches, Goldie.
Just go stand out there and look at that ocean. And you won't feel so big.
It's a sweet thing to cry
Oh,
about.
I miss him.
How nice to love someone that way.
I'm lucky. I'm really lucky that I could have a dad like that.
You have been described as kooky, cute, adorable, brainy. How would you describe you in 3 adjectives?
Well, if I have to simplify it like that, I would say thoughtful, complex, and curious.
And not giggly?
Oh, and giggly. Well, you gave me 3. I mean, what was
I?
Huh? Giggly. Let's go for it. Why not?
Goldie Hawn got together with actor Kurt Russell in the mid-1980s, and they had a son, Wyatt, a few years later. Kurt seems to be the man she was looking for all those years. She often produces her own movies and is said to have greater control of her career than virtually any actress in Hollywood. She became famous playing the dumb blonde, but was smart enough to transform that start into one of the most successful careers in show business. In a moment, my interview with Howard